Hello, my name is Jacques, professor at HEC Montreal and one of the co-founder of the ERP Simulation Game. You've just been hired by a Muesli producing company, Mueslis that you're going to sell in the German local market. This clip will tell you how the ERP Simulation Game works. I wish you very good luck. I'm Jacques in Germany. You and your newly hired team will have a lot of responsibilities. You will have to do a lot of things. You will have to forecast production, run the MRP, purchase the raw material and pay the suppliers, issue the production order, and of course, market those cereal boxes over the 3 different channels that you will find in this market. In order to perform your task, you'll have access to a newly implemented ECP system. That ERP system will allow you to process all those tasks, generate the documents, the financial documents, and the reports that are necessary for your team to perform correctly. Now, your team will have to organize itself in order to be as efficient as possible. And it's going to be up to you to decide how to do so. So you're going to have to learn how to organize yourself in order to be the most efficient, given the functionality of the ERP system. For each of these 70 seconds, orders will come into your system. So a lot of new information will be added every minute. You're going to have to keep track of those information if you want to be responsive. You will be allowed to sell product only if those products are in stock. If that's not the case, then the buyers just go elsewhere. So you need to stock all the product that you desire to sell. Now, there's 2 types of mistakes that you could do. You could produce 2 large batches, huge number of stock, and you find out that consumers do not desire to purchase that product. You will be stuck with it. You will be eventually forced to lower your price and eventually sell at loss. The other problem is you don't stock enough. In this case, you might sell very quickly and you will not be able to produce in time the quantity necessary to satisfy demand. That will be your challenge, to be able to stock just enough to monitor how well these products are selling, adjust the price eventually accordingly, and produce quickly the products that are quite in demand. It's going to be really important that you price your product well. That will require some information on your part and some learning. If you price your good too high, it won't sell. There are competitors out there, either the other teams that compete against you or simply the fact that there are other products that Muesli lovers could eventually buy as substitutes. If you price too low, of course, you won't make enough money. The worst thing to do is certainly price below cost. That, I'm sure, your boss will not like. So the idea is to set up the right markup. The optimal markup will be around €1, maybe a little bit more, a little less, depending on the channel, depending on also on your capacity constraint and depending on what competitors are doing. If your stock is depleting very fast and you don't expect to be able to produce in time to satisfy demand, clearly you need to increase your prices. If you're stuck with unsold goods that consumers don't care for, you'll have to decrease your price. These are information that you need to acquire using the information in the system. During the first stage of the game, one of your objectives should be to learn more about the market. We provide you with little information about how the consumer behaves and what is the size of the market and what is best in order to market your product. You're going to have to learn that, retrieving information from the data that you received during the first stage of the game. In the later stage of the game, you'll have to exploit that information in order to make as much profit as possible. At that stage of the game, you should be able to do very quickly all the business transactions necessary for to perform the full cash-to-cash cycle, and you will know exactly what the market demands, and you won't have as much liquidity constraint as in the early stage of the game. Those stage will make great difference in the final outcome. The team that's going to do the best is the team that's going to be able to produce what consumer demand. So you need to know what consumer demand, want, and desire, and to be able to produce this. So you put some products in stock, you look at what sells the best, and you produce that product. You're going to have to be very responsive, which means that you will have to be able to do the full cash-to-cash cycle very quickly. The teams that are able to do so, the teams that is able to achieve operational excellence, is the team that's going to win this game.